more visible picture at the MVP picture. It feels like there is now a 3-horse race for the MVP in Drake Maye, Matthew Stafford, and Jonathan Taylor. First, we'll go with Drake Maye. Unbelievable for his second year, second head coach, second offensive coordinator, 3 if you go back 3 years for him back to college. He is leading this Patriots team. I mean, it is fun to watch. Had him early. You know, it feels like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Todd Bowles' defense had him early because I was reading Connor's tweets about it. It's like, whoa, tough day with Todd Bowles right now, tough day. Then he makes this throw with a guy about to hit him. Has to be a touch pass with like a quarter throw. And it's like, this dude is special. And it's not just us saying that, Schefter. Sportsbooks have him as the odds-on favorite to win the MVP. Wow. That is insane to think about at this stage. Matthew Stafford, we just talked about being immaculate. And then Jonathan Taylor, this dude, special. 250 yards or whatever it was in Germany yesterday. He's been doing it all season. There's a lot of stats and factoids about what he's been doing versus Adrian Peterson and Adrian Peterson's MVP season. Up to this point, obviously what the teams were, 8-2, 6-4. He has 17 touchdowns.
Jeez.
I thought we had 7 touchdowns. 1,399 yards from scrimmage, 1,283 yards from scrimmage. So what Jonathan Taylor is doing is obviously historic and obviously better than an MVP season was for a running back in the past. Adrian Peterson, we all have massive respect for as a football player. He was untackleable, and Jonathan Taylor's the same damn thing. And when Jonathan Taylor gets any space, he's gone. He is winning games for the Indianapolis Colts, and you got everybody on that team. You know, Zaire at the end of that 44 was saying, "You're the best player in the world," literally on camera. I got a text from Daniel Jones that said, "We got the best player on earth in Jonathan Taylor." He said life is good with him. Nobody expected this from the Colts, Adam Schefter, and I don't know if anybody expected this from Jonathan Taylor either. If you're a voter, which I don't know if you are or not, are you going to give it to a running back, Shefty, or is this just a quarterback award, you think, through and through?
Well, here's what I'm going to say to you, Pat. If we go back the last 12 years, okay, the quarterback has won the most valuable player. By the way, Mike Kafka, officially the interim head coach for the New York Giants.
Okay.
Mike Kafka, the interim head coach for the New York Giants. He takes over for Brian Daboll, who was let go here this afternoon. I want to give you something here that's interesting. The quarterback position, a quarterback has won the NFL MVP each of the last 12 years. If we go back over the last 7, there are 50 voters for the MVP award. My friend Peter King pointed this out to me this morning. There are 50 voters for the MVP award. In the last 7 years, there have been 350 first-place votes for the MVP. Of those 350 votes, 349 over the last 7 years have been for quarterbacks. The only single vote in the last 7 years, not for a quarterback, was for Cooper Kupp in 2021. Other than that, a quarterback has gotten every first-place vote for the MVP award. So, that tells you that Drake Maye, Matthew Stafford, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Sam Darnold, they're in the lead. However, saying that, I am not a voter. I'm glad I'm not a voter, but I guess I'm not, I've never been asked to be a voter. I've not been a voter since I was younger. Those privileges were revoked. My Hall of Fame privileges were revoked when I was in NFL Network. They never gave them back to me. I guess I can make fun of it now. Nobody ever gave me back. And there are a lot more. There are a lot of people out there, Pat, that know the game way better than me. So they don't need my vote, and they don't need me to vote on the Hall of Fame either.
Of course.
There's a lot of people, a lot more than me.
Oh, jeez, the fire truck's outside. Jesus. Yeah. Hey, everything's all right,
we're
boys.
okay, boys.
Thanks
We're
for coming, boys.
Mitt let him know.
Dayball was just getting fired, dude. So the fire alarms went off here in Indianapolis. But I did not know you got your voting privileges revoked. I'm happy you keep that chip on your shoulder every single day when you wake up and try to change the course of the NFL with your breaking news. 349 of the 350 votes over the last 7 years have gone to a quarterback. Cooper Kupp, obviously everybody says he won the Triple Crown that year. It was actually the quad because he got the yards after catch, too.
Oh, yeah?
So it was like catches, touchdowns, yards, and then also yards after catch he had. So it was like all 4 he was across the board. And he got 1 MVP vote. Okay, he got 1. Jonathan Taylor's doing special things. Let's go to somebody who actually has an MVP vote, AP Tone. Running back, potentially in the running, especially with how good this Colts team is. The position we're in, best team in the AFC. And he is clearly the best player on the team. Everybody on the team agrees that.
Yeah, good news. Just got the email this week. I am back this year. I was.
Yeah, he gets to keep his, Shefty.
Yeah, I was not
You
sure.
bum. Shefty's a bum.
Jeff, you can send me your list. Maybe I'll take it into consideration or not. But yes, Jonathan Taylor and a running back should always be considered when you're having a historic season like this. It doesn't have to be just a quarterback award. It's not named a quarterback award. So yes, if Jonathan Taylor is the most valuable player, he should win the MVP award.
Drake May, odds-on favorite to win the MVP. No Patriots fan. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, that's what I was saying before I got in a little bit of a riff. I don't know how you don't give the award today, November 10th, to Jonathan Taylor. The guy's had 4 hat-trick games. 4 games where he scored 3 touchdowns each. He right now is on pace to do things that very few running backs in the history of football ever have done. We're talking about a historic season. Now, again, there are a lot of games left, but look at the production. Look how it compares to when Adrian Peterson won MVP.
Good hosting.
John he's only scored 10 more touchdowns than him at this point, right?
Oh, yeah.
10 more, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's what it's
again, Pat, if I did have a vote right now, I would vote for John, but I don't have a vote, so I can't.
Okay, yeah, we understand. You got it revoked. Once again,
not getting it back.
Tone said he will listen to any ideas, but obviously he has more sway than you. He still has a vote for good reason. But let's go to the odds-on favorite right now because of everything you just chatted about. I think everybody just assumes, including sports books, inevitably at the end of the day, push comes to shove, whenever it's time to vote, they'll say the person that's touching the ball every single play is the most valuable position. That is normally the argument. It's not the most best player. It's the most valuable player. Yep. Quarterback's always going to be the most valuable. That's why they're getting paid $60 million a year because they touch the ball every single play. Jonathan Taylor, I think Danny Dimes would be okay with him touching the ball every single play. Yeah. And I think our offense would, but we got weapons everywhere else as well, which is why the culture's so good. Let's talk about Drake May, though. Odds-on favorite, con man. Nobody expected that as a Patriots fan coming into the season, right? How could you expect the Patriots' second-year quarterback, who wasn't the first quarterback drafted, he's on a brand-new head coach, to be the MVP odds-on favorite through 10 weeks. Congrats to you guys, and congrats to Drake May, who seemingly has it all.
Yeah, incredible. First 10 games, just to kind of piggyback off that Jonathan Taylor thing for Drake May. He's the first quarterback in the history of the NFL to have 2,500 pass yards, 70-plus completion percentage, 250 rushing yards, and 5 or fewer interceptions.
Jeez.
Shout out Greg Harvey. When we're talking about value and just, valuable as being the word here, you can go to all those other players and then look at the cap space spent across the other offenses. I mean, it's not even close. Drake May would be most valuable. I think Matt Stafford's most deserving, though.
Yeah, Kirk, obviously Pat's talking about Drake May and what the New England Patriots are able to do. They beat the Bucs yesterday. They're 8-2. I guess, are you surprised at how quickly Drake May has evolved into an elite quarterback? I mean, MVP odds, you see him right here. And are you surprised at all at how fast, I guess, Braves has been able to instill that culture and turn them into a very viable team to make a run at the Super Bowl?
Well, obviously, AJ, you know him, Braves, and we all love him and think so highly of him as what it was initially as an assistant and a coordinator. And then he goes to the Titans and has them on the brink of getting into a Super Bowl. And then last year he's in Cleveland, just just kind of buying his time and hanging out. And eventually, you knew he'd get back in the mix. I don't think Connor, even you, as much as you're a diehard, blinded New England Patriots fan, I don't think anybody expected the culture to change this quickly. Nobody could have expected this. It's easy to say, I saw it all along. I mean, Drake May, if you saw him in college, he's another college quarterback that's outstanding, but we see a lot of college quarterbacks that are outstanding that just don't see the field in the NFL and don't make these many plays this early in their career. So I think Josh McDaniels deserves a ton of credit for the system that he's been able to build, the way they've been able to build this team from the ground up as far as confidence. They didn't try to do too much too fast. I had him again. I mentioned the game with Dable. They played the Patriots. I had a chance to visit with Josh in late August when they were getting ready to go into the season, and he was incredibly confident with what Drake May was doing, the communication, the understanding. You can see the relationship that they built. This Drake May has a super, super unassuming team guy first, doesn't want any of the accolades, will deflect all the attention onto his team. So he's got the wiring that it takes, but to see this guy execute, what is he at 19-5, I think, right now in the year, 19 touchdowns, only 5 picks. So he's playing smart, but I think it's more of the totality of what the Patriots have become with Mike Vrabel. And it's not just, wow, look at the schedule, it's been favorable. No, I mean it's a mix of veterans with rookies with a quarterback that's making great decisions, and here they are sitting at the top.
Couple more things just to kind of add to your point about this Patriots team. So many different moments throughout that game yesterday as we're watching where Vrabel is coaching in between plays to guys that are on the field. Like there was a time, I think it was 5:16 left, Drake Maye, they're up 5, rolls to the right, throws the ball out of bounds when they're down in red zone. And you knew that Drake Maye probably immediately was like, there's no reason for me to throw that out of bounds and stop the clock right here. We could keep this thing alive. It starts getting like frustrated with himself. And literally they shoot over to Vrabes. Vrabes is talking to him like, yo, we're good. Then there was a report off the sidelines like, hey, Vrabes was over telling the defense, hey, nothing else matters except for right now. It's like he's hands-on with every single play. And then Travion Henderson, obviously, we see the moment where he breaks free and he looks over to the sideline like, should I go down or should I score? And they're probably all like, yo, go ahead and score that thing, dude. Score that thing. So like,
he's a freak.
When you talk about buy-in, when you talk about buy-in, I think the perfect depiction of it is Stephon Diggs on the hands team. Stephon Diggs on the hands team, okay? And everybody's talking about, he should do this. It's like, yeah, right, dude. Knowing that he's going to get blasted in the face right there. That is the only outcome that Stephon Diggs is going to have right there.
Worst ball.
And they're like, hey, he needs to do this is what number one wide receivers always do. It's like, no, they don't. Number one wide receivers are not being sent out there to potentially get shot right in the jaw or right into the chest. Go ahead.
By the way, look at how they're schooled there. Everybody goes in to make a block. The whole thing, instead of like 5 guys going up to grab the ball, you got a very, very well schooled. These guys are trying to make blocks. We know that 8's going to go ahead and he's got the ball. We know he's going to catch it. And everybody doing the best they can to try to avoid what ended up happening because they just had a couple too many. They couldn't block them all. And he still is able to hold on to it. I think you bring up a good point. I think he has a very hungry team, whether it's the blend of rookies and younger players with some vets, but they all are listening to Vrabel. So Vrabel's over there coaching in between series. And instead of them being like, get out of here with that, they're just like, they're dialed in listening to what he's saying. So it helps winning, right? I mean, it's easy to become that guy when you're winning. And, right now he's got a team that's all in.
Yeah, I think all in. Stephon Diggs said earlier in the year, I can't believe he got me to buy in. And it's like, it's a Vrabel effect that he has seemingly in every building that he has. I mean, it was happening at the American Century Classic whenever he walked into the tent. He walks in, everybody's just like, what the hell is this species? He's doing that. He's a great leader. He's an alpha in every sense of the form, but it seems like his empathy for these young guys, like not to beat yourself up too much, is what's showcasing the most. The Patriots are a problem. Drake May's the odds-on favorite for the MVP. And the Colts are going to win the Super Bowl. We'll be back tomorrow live from Paris Island. Goodbye. All right, that's a pretty good send-off.
Hell yeah.
Not bad.
Sorry, Herbie.
That was great.
We're still live. We're still live, Herbie. We're still live. We're still live.
Just someone that won't get enough love, and I'm actually hopefully he doesn't, just so he doesn't get any sort of opportunities outside of being the offensive line coach for the Patriots. Doug Marrone came in their left side of the line, Will Campbell and Jared Wilson, both rookies. Jared Wilson, I believe, played center at Georgia last year. I think he was our 3rd-round pick. Will Campbell, obviously, number 4 overall. That toss left to end the game, the Trevion touchdown. I mean, that's right behind Will Campbell. And we got a defensive lineman, Tonga, playing fullback, who played 8 snaps at fullback, actually.
And look at that block.
Yeah,
3 guys.
The amount of guys on the ground, and there goes Vita Vea. But the other run, that was a 55-yard touchdown. That was Jared Wilson basically one-on-one rookie on Vita Vea. So it's one of those things where I don't know what's in the water or what, Doug Marrone is feeding the offensive line, but they're playing their fucking ass off. And like, that's why, you get chills just thinking about how good these young dudes
defense
are.
too.
Still so, and on that note, Christian Gonzalez is unbelievable. And he's starting to have his own little island starting to happen there in this entire season. But they're up and to the right, but they're still so early.
Yeah.
Like, there's still so much for Drake, for Vrabel's culture. I mean, another offseason drafting your guys, free agent. I mean, there's just so much for these Patriots fans to be.
Yeah, BA always talks about, having the rookies ready. If they're ready by November, by Thanksgiving, you're in a good spot. Travion Henderson, he looks like he's coming along. Kyle Williams, he had a big-time play. And a great sign of your team going in the right direction I hate this for vets sometimes, but when Vrabel came in and they moved on from Kyle Duggar, who had a huge contract, and they moved on from Peppers, who was a solidified vet, that let you know how these young guys were playing, how they were building. You go and get Carlton Davis, who's another #1 corner. Christian Gonzalez is unbelievable. And they came into this game without allowing one rusher that they faced to reach 50 yards. Like, that's crazy at the halfway point in the season. So they are in tandem right now on defense. And obviously we know the offense is making plays and they're explosive.